Welcome back, everybody. It's good to have you with us. Last week, we said we're going to find out how Andrew is feeling because of the Arsenal City game, and we are definitely going to talk about that. We are glad that you are with us. Please buckle up. We have a lot to talk about. This is What the Football.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right, so Andrew, another week. But before we go into the big game, I know you have a lot to say. You're really happy. Let's start with the Champions League.
Yeah.
Arsenal went to France, and I think they played Lens,
Yep.
and that was your first loss of the season.
First loss
What's
of the
going
season.
on?
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like an off day.
Yeah.
I think we weren't prepared to play well. I wonder if the delay had anything to do. So I don't know if you know this, but the plane was delayed.
Oh, the
And
plane?
so Arsenal was delayed to get to France.
Is that your excuse now?
No, I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying I wonder if that
Okay.
had a part to play in it.
Okay.
It shouldn't.
Shouldn't. Yeah.
The boss said it as well that
Okay.
it shouldn't have anything to do with their performance.
Yeah, you guys scored first though.
We did score first.
Yeah.
However, so just full disclosure, I didn't see the full game.
That's all right.
The moments that I did get to see though, I did wonder if they were prepared because it didn't seem like the team was able to cope with loans. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Lens.
Loans.
Yeah.
I think Thierry Henry said something like he didn't feel like it was going to be an easy game for them anyway. He felt like it was going to be a tough game.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, look, Champions League, you got some of the top sides from Europe
Mhm.
coming into that competition.
Mhm.
So none of those games are easy. So
Makes sense.
we're definitely going to lose a few.
Makes sense.
And so yeah, we take the loss. We learn from it. I think the boss said that after, like, we learn from it.
Yeah.
Plenty of things to take away. And yeah, move on.
Yeah, that's cool. I hope you guys do. I think in that game, that was where Saka actually got his injury
He did.
that kept him out of the City game. So
Yep.
he left the game early.
Yep.
But
Which a lot of people have different thoughts about it. I think some people think he shouldn't have been playing that game to begin with because I think he came off in the game
Bournemouth
before
game?
that, the Bournemouth game.
Okay.
I think. So yeah, he shouldn't have started that game
Yeah.
to begin with.
Mm.
I think I agree with that.
Okay.
That would have been actually a good opportunity to let other players start and show us what they have to offer,
True.
and then that way Saka could have played, but I think it worked out in the end. Which we'll get to in a bit.
We'll
Yeah,
get there.
yeah.
I know you. I know you're happy. Relax, bro. Relax. We will get there. Relax.
Yeah, but
So still on the Champions League, City won, I think, away at Leipzig. Fine.
mhm.
Manchester United.
Yes.
So Manchester United had Galatasaray come. By come, I mean Manchester United played home, and they lost.
Yeah.
So this is their second Champions League game in the group stage, and this is their second loss. They lost to Bayern Munich in Germany. Now they lost to Galatasaray at home. I don't know. Let's stick to the Champions League for now.
Sure.
I don't think they've started the season in the UCL really well. In that game, Casemiro had a red card.
Yep.
Onana, another mistake.
Yeah.
Onana, another mistake. It was, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, I'm not saying, I don't think he's a bad goalie. He's a good goalie. But I think his start has not been anyway what he hoped it would have been.
Do you feel like he's a bit overconfident?
Sometimes, maybe.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, we know he's really good with the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons Ten Hag wanted to sign him anyway, or did sign him.
It's becoming the trend for keepers. That's the kind of keepers people are looking for.
Yeah, goalkeepers who are good with the ball at their feet. I
That's
just don't know.
Here's the thing. That's one thing. That's an aspect that you want from a keeper.
Yeah.
But then I feel like there's this kind of. I feel like some goalkeepers have this sort of energy about them, or like this kind of overconfidence about them.
Mm,
They're like, oh, like they're there. I think Ramsdale fits in that a little bit as
mm.
well. But yeah, I just wonder, like, Onana, is he a little bit overconfident?
I don't know. I hope his confidence helps him. So I really
Yeah,
do. I
that's a
really
good
do.
point.
Because
That's
I
a
hope
good
his
point.
confidence helps him.
Yeah, 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 that's a
Because
good
in that
point.
game, I think Hoyland scored first.
Yeah,
Zaha equalized.
yeah.
Hoyland scored again to make it 2-1. Uh, I can't I can't pronounce the name really well, but I think their number 7 scored the second goal.
Who's the
The
number 7?
Galatasaray. No,
Okay.
his name is it's a nice name. I just can't pronounce it. So that's me. That's not him. That's on me.
Hey, that's you being respectful, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah. And then Onana's mistake happened. So it was a pass. He was playing the pass out. I can't remember who the player was,
Mm,
but I think it was Dries Mertens who
mm.
intercepted, got the ball, went into the box, and Casemiro had to slide in.
Oh, yeah.
And Dries Mertens is an experienced player. He just puts his leg where he knows the slide is going to come from, or the
Yeah.
tackle is going to come from. And so Casemiro gets his second yellow card. He's sent off.
Mm.
The funny thing though is the resulting penalty from that, Icardi misses it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Mario Icardi misses the penalty. So the game stays at 2-2. But by this time, United are playing with 10 men. Minutes after he misses the penalty, he makes it 3-2.
Yeah, it's not a good home form so far for United. They've lost
Yeah,
a
yeah,
couple of matches.
yeah, they have. They lost to Brighton at home.
Mm.
They lost to Palace at home.
Yeah.
Actually, after defeating Palace a few days earlier in the Cup and the Carabao Cup, they lost to them at
Yeah.
home. And now they lost to Galatasaray. But that's United. But we can't say the same for Newcastle in the Champions League.
Yeah, yeah. That was a big win.
Oof.
Big win at home.
Oof. To be honest, I didn't see a 4-1 coming.
Yeah, nobody did. Yeah.
Because I felt like, okay, PSG are a good team. Yes, definitely they have lost Messi and Neymar.
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel like
They have some good players still.
Yeah, they still
They
do.
signed Dembele.
Yeah,
they
they
got
have
Mbappe
Dembele,
still.
They still have Mbappe. They have
Yeah.
Ramos. They have although they lost Verratti
Bayern.
also, which I think is a big loss.
Yeah.
Because Marco Verratti is a really good midfielder. So I feel like, first off, as I've already said, the result is or was surprising, 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
But it's away, so it's PSG away, but you still expect them to put up a fight.
I think it was just Newcastle's night. You know.
Yeah, but the funny thing was, PSG had more of the ball though. I think PSG had more of the ball. Newcastle were just very, very intentional about what they wanted to do with it when they got it.
Yeah.
And they were actually really good goals also. So shout out to Newcastle. I think after not playing in the UCL for like 20 years, and the UCL comes back to St. James Park, what a night.
Yeah, man.
What a night
It's
for
good.
them. What a night
Was this
for
their
them.
first home game
Yes.
in the Champions League? Wow,
so
yeah.
The first game was away at Milan in San Siro.
Yeah.
So to have their home game, their first home game was against PSG. And I actually heard that like some Newcastle fans had gone to the hotel where the PSG guys were saying to see if they could see some of the stars.
That's cool.
And then the stars come and they batter them. The stars get battered, like
That's
seriously.
funny,
But
yeah.
that's just good, man. That's just good for them. This is the same Newcastle where we were thinking, should they be bothered? You know, after they lost to City and then they lost to Brighton and then they lost to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And then in like 3 games, no, actually they've won, I think, their last 4. So they dismantled Sheffield. I think that was 8-1 or 8-0.
Yeah.
They won City in the Carabao Cup 1-0. So City's out of the Carabao Cup.
Yep.
And then they won PSG 4-1. So you're like,
no, they're definitely a solid side. I mean, we've been seeing them build for the last couple of years now. I remember when a couple of seasons ago when Arsenal were trying to get into, or no, was it the season before last season?
Yeah.
When we were trying to get in the Champions League.
Oh yeah.
And we played Newcastle in like one of the final
I remember
2,
that game.
3,
At St. James
4
Park.
games. Yeah. And I think at that time everybody knew that was going to be a tough game for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Because Newcastle were coming up. You know, they've been building for a while. So I think, the manager's done a good job.
Yeah, shout out to Eddie Howe.
Yeah, and they have a good team.
Yeah.
Good
Yes.
mixture of experience and
Yes.
youth, talent,
And they haven't
and
even bought like somebody for like 120 million or something.
no,
I
the
think their most expensive buy was Isak,
yeah,
if I'm not wrong.
yeah,
Between Isak
I
and
think so.
Guimaraes, I'm not sure one of them.
Yeah, and those are solid players. They've gotten good players, and yeah, credit to them.
Yeah, they've proved themselves. I think they're doing okay. I think one other thing I just want to mention, just because I love Jude. Uh,
We all love Jude.
yeah, we all love Jude. Napoli, Real Madrid.
Yeah,
Real Madrid won 3-2. Jude Bellingham again. The boy is having so much fun.
yeah,
I think his second goal was just beautiful.
yeah.
I think he got 2 in that game against Napoli. Over the weekend, he got 2 again against Osasuna. The boy is having so much fun in Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Like so much fun. Jude, we need to meet up sometime soon, man.
It's as I was watching one of the post-match
Yeah.
interviews with him. I think what I thought was really cool was how, well, number one, how down to earth he is.
Okay.
He has like a humility about him. He doesn't take it for granted, but also he's very mature. Like the way he speaks, and I guess it shows on the pitch as well, his understanding of the game, the way he's playing. Some people are saying, like, I think Carlo Ancelotti said this, that he's 20 but he's playing like he's 30,
Wow.
so like
Wow.
I think he's a special boy, and he has a maturity about him,
Yeah.
in his game and his personality, even, and it's showing. So yeah, credit to him. Keep shining.
I can't say anything more than that,
Yeah.
man. Shout out to Jude. Shout out to Jude. So quick one. I don't know if this is not actually good news. So during the week, we spoke about Paul Pogba having having failed his drug test.
Yeah.
So another one was taken. So it was like a B sample that was tested.
Yeah.
And he failed this one also.
Yeah.
That is just sad. I don't know him personally, but we don't wish that for anybody.
Yeah.
And I think he's just 30, so he still has a few more years to give.
Right.
But right now, sad news, because I think he would have to face a ban.
Yeah.
It could be between 2 to 4 years, or maybe 5. I don't know. But I think what I saw was it could be between 2 to 4 years.
Yeah.
And with that, Juventus now have to sit with his agent or something. I think they would have to terminate his contract.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but let's back up a little bit. So B sample. So is that a sample they took at the same time that they took the A sample, or whatever that's called? Or was this taken after? Was this a different test? I don't know much about how this stuff is done.
So I think what happened was, after the first one came out, Pogba actually requested for another sample to be taken.
Okay.
That's what I think happened.
So was that taken right after, or was that taken a little bit later?
I
Okay.
think it was after. I don't think they're testing the same sample they have twice.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
So I'm thinking after he requested for another one, they must have come and done another, whatever they use, urine, whatever.
Okay.
So I don't know the time difference between the first sample taken and the second sample taken.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that's my question, because I'm curious. Okay, we don't know that. Okay.
Yeah, we don't know that. But
sad. Unfortunate nonetheless. Yeah, it feels sad. I mean, I've liked Pogba, and so and also just it's just sad. Just I think it's not good for his career.
No, it's not.
And it's not good for his form. So I don't know what that's gonna look like for him. Like whenever that decision is made.
So let's say he gets let's say he gets a 3-year ban.
Yeah.
And he returns, he's say 33. Do you think clubs will still be interested to sign him? Or like elite European clubs? Let me
football. I feel like football can sometimes be so unforgiving because of how fast it moves. This is something that's always fascinated me. For a player's prime is a very short window if you think about it. Yeah, it's like there's very few players who have, that kind of long-lasting career. We talk about Messi and Ronaldo, and there's a few other players, Zlatan, who just retired recently.
Yeah.
And so he's retired, right?
Yes, he is.
And so you don't see a lot of players who have that kind of long career, you
Mhm.
know? And so I think that average window of a player in their prime is very short. It could be that Pogba, by the time that ban is removed, his prime is past, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. And the thing is, possibly his prime would have gone.
Yeah.
Maybe he might not be able to get a Juventus contract or something. Or maybe he can just go back to France and play for, I
True.
don't know, maybe Nons
Yeah.
or OGC Nice. I'm just thinking out loud. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm not his agent or anything. But
Yeah.
I also do hope that at the end of it, he still has a love for the game.
Yeah.
He might go through the ban, and while he's away from the game, he just like, I don't need this anymore.
Dude, it's funny that you say that because we were talking, like, I think yesterday about Eden Hazard as well, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he's also without a club at the moment.
Yeah,
It seems like.
right now he's without a club.
And
Yes.
so it's so interesting to see these players who were like talked about so much just a few years ago. You had Eden Hazard, you had Paul Pogba, there's a bunch of others.
Yeah.
And there's a few of them who are like in these situations where like they're not even playing.
Yeah.
You know, that's insane. That's crazy.
Life moves fast.
Yeah, man.
We have to move fast.
Yeah, but that's
We do have to
sad.
move
But
fast.
yeah,
Quick one though, while we're still talking about Juventus and their decision with Pogba, something happened in the Serie A this week. I think that was Genoa versus AC Milan. So Pulisic had put AC Milan ahead, I think 80 something minutes.
yes.
And then into stoppage time, Mike Mania receives a red card. Who steps up to take the gloves?
My
Tell
guy
them.
Giroud. My guy Giroud. Olivier Giroud.
Olivier.
The big man.
Yeah. So I see him putting the green shirt on, and I'm like, seriously? And he gets the gloves on.
Yes.
And that's highlight.
He's just eyes closed.
It's like, I'll reach out for
Just
anything.
do something.
I'll reach out for anything. It could be the ball, it could be the player. I just stretch my hand out. I might get something.
I think that was the strategy of the keeper that got sent off.
Come on. But that was good. But anyway, he was in the post for
Very short
a few
time,
minutes,
right? Yeah.
but he didn't concede.
Nah.
So now he can add that as a start.
Yeah.
He's never considered a goal as a goalkeeper.
Hopefully he doesn't have to do that again.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure his manager's like, this is the first and last time.
I hope so, but it was good for them though.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, I've loved Giroud. You
Yeah.
know, I loved him his time at Arsenal.
That's good. I also
Um,
loved him his time at
It's
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Yes.
Funny enough, he played for both teams.
Good man.
That's a cool guy. He's a cool
Entertaining footballer. So
guy. Cool guy. Cool
fun
guy.
to watch. But yeah, it's cool to see like him put on the goalkeeper's jersey
Yeah,
and then try to like.
Yeah.
And I think like once he didn't make a save, but he caught the ball. Or
Yeah, got the
something.
ball. He
And
just
they
lay on his, and all the players came.
And they celebrated like it was a goal that he scored. But it's funny. But
That was just
yeah.
beautiful to see. Beautiful
Yeah,
to
yeah,
see.
yeah. Anyways, that's a what the football moment.
I
right
guess
there.
so. Yes, yeah, because another what the football moment. But that was good though because they hung on to the win and they are now top of the Serie A.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's even more special then.
You see that? Giroud, we celebrate you here. Clean sheet, Giroud. That was just beautiful. I think they're top now. I think Inter might be second, but I know
Okay.
Milan are top.
Cool, man.
So moving on, some news came up sometime about the 2030 World Cup.
Yeah, that was this week.
Yeah,
They announced it this week.
I think this one is special because it's 100 years since the first World Cup was played.
That's right.
So the first World Cup, 1930, in Uruguay. Uruguay champions.
Yes.
And the next one is 2026, which we know. So the one after that, 2030, that would be like a celebration of 100 years of the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah.
And I feel like they wanted to do something special.
Yeah.
And we're having 6 different host nations
Yeah.
in about 3 different continents.
Yeah. There's still time to figure that one out, so let's see what they do with that.
Bro, to some extent, it could end up being a big logistical headache.
It sounds like a logistical headache.
Yes. So Uruguay, Argentina, Paraguay
Yeah.
for the first 3 games, I think. And then the tournament then shifts to Morocco, Spain, and Portugal.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, are we having the first game played in Uruguay because of the 1930 stuff?
I think so.
Then
I
why
think,
not
yeah.
just have Uruguay host the whole tournament?
Yeah, I think that would be a much welcome
Or keep it in South
idea.
America. If Uruguay can't host the whole tournament,
Yeah.
keep it there. Let Uruguay and Argentina and Paraguay just do the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I know many nations desire to host the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So this is nothing against Morocco or Spain and Portugal. And also, we don't make the decisions. The FIFA Executive Committee have done what they want to do.
Also, they have time. I think they just have announced this to kind of get a feel for like how that's gonna be.
So are you saying they might still change it?
Oh, sure, they could. Why not? I mean,
I don't know.
if it turns out to be a massive logistical headache, then they may want to reconsider. But also with events like this, I'm sure they usually find other solutions to those headaches, so there's time. We'll see. But it is exciting, 100 years of the FIFA World Cup.
That part is
amazing.
That part is just beautiful.
That's worth celebrating.
Yeah,
that's
part
cool.
is beautiful. But I hope. Yeah. Let's leave it. We don't work for FIFA yet.
Yet. Nice.
We don't work for FIFA yet.
Nice.
So shout out to Infantino and the guys. They are paid the big bucks to have the big headaches.
Yeah.
So it's good for them.
Yeah.
So I think right now we can go into the Premier League.
Yes, let's please.
Let's move.
I think we need to first of all celebrate your back-to-back wins.
Bro.
Finally. 1-4, huh?
Finally. They win 2 games on the bounce.
Yeah.
And not just that, I think
it was a resounding win, 1-4.
Yeah, and also to come from 1-0 down.
Yeah, that's true. First. Yeah, they scored first.
Come from 1-0 down to do that. I think it's really good. They needed that. They had the whole issue of, even I think it was Domino's Pizza, who were trolling Chelsea.
Oh, what?
At some point, that they had delivered about 9 million pizzas. Well, I think in the Fulham game, Chelsea won the Fulham game 2-0 away at Fulham.
Okay.
At the start of the game, there was actually like a truck by Clement Cottage with a screen that was showing we had delivered about, maybe somebody who works in Domino's is a Fulham fan. I don't know.
Okay.
But there was a truck that said something like, we have delivered about 9 million pizzas since Chelsea scored last in the Premier League. Now that was big trolling, man.
Yeah.
Even I felt the banter. I was like, oh man, that's harsh.
That is harsh.
That was harsh, bro.
It's bad when like food companies are coming after you. It's different when like it's fan to fan.
Yeah.
But now it's like pizza to fan.
Bro. I still feel like somebody there is a Fulham guy.
It could be it.
But the funny thing though, before the Fulham game, there was one. I think it was a tweet, and that was like 800 and something pizzas. But by the Fulham game, it had gone up to like 9 million. And
wow.
Like 8 or 9 million, one of them. And I don't blame them because Chelsea scored 3 against Luton. After that game, they didn't score against Forest. They didn't score against Villa. They didn't score against Bournemouth.
Yeah. And
according to Domino's, they delivered 9 million pizzas in that time.
Is that worldwide or just in the UK?
I don't know. Bro, they were trolling my team. What do you want me to do?
Hey, but it matters if it's worldwide or if it's just in the UK.
If it's worldwide, that's good for them.
9 million pizzas is a lot of pizzas.
Is that 8 or 9? Maybe I'm getting the numbers wrong. I really don't care. They were bantering us. So that's fine. That's fine. I really don't mind. So to get 2 against Fulham and then to score 4 against Burnley, I think that was good to see that the goals are now coming in.
Yeah.
Also, there's now a sponsor on the shirt.
Yes.
And I think the 2 games we've played with the sponsor in the Premier League, we have won. So let them keep that sponsor.
That's right.
Infinite Athletes. So
Yes.
hoping that this is the start of good stuff. Chelsea's next game is Arsenal. We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
But all in all, it's good to get 3 points. They're still in the bottom half of the table. I think Chelsea is 11th.
Yes.
But it's
Climbing
good to
up.
get
Climbing up.
that winning feeling back
Yeah.
in the league.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what
it's
I
good.
would say, yeah.
But at the same time, there was another your guys' rival, I guess, big rival, Manchester United,
Oof.
were also 1-0 down up until stoppage time.
Yes, I did. I saw that game. I'm not sure I really wanted United to win.
I think a lot of people were looking at that going,
let me just be
man,
honest.
they're about to. They're
I
about to.
wasn't hoping that they would lose, but the way the game was turning out, it was I think Brentford actually sat in towards sometime in the second half. They were like, okay, maybe we'll hold on to what we have.
Mm-hmm.
So they stopped pushing in the attack,
Mm-hmm.
and United just kept piling on the pressure, under
Mhm.
pressure. So for the Brentford goal, it was oh na na, oh na na.
That's his name.
Another
That's his
mistake.
name.
That's his name.
I'm surprised that hasn't turned into a chant. Is that a chant yet?
I think the other clubs have to come up with something like that when they play against
To
United.
banter them?
To play against like, oh na na, that's his name. Oh na na. But nothing against Onana though. But I think Brentford's goal, he would feel bad because he could
There was
have,
a
he
mistake, yeah.
should have saved it.
Yeah.
And I think the ball went just underneath his palm or something. And you could even see it when the ball went in, he was like face down on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when McTominay scored the second goal,
Yeah, he
he
ran
was
to
so
celebrate.
relieved.
He ran to
He
celebrate.
ran
with
to
him.
celebrate.
Yeah, I saw that.
You could see that he was so relieved because he
Yeah.
felt like the goal, he had a hand in it.
Yeah.
But when it was Alex Ferguson, they would say it's Fergie time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I don't know if this is Ten Hag time.
I think it's still Fergie time, man.
Still Fergie time.
I think so, man.
Also, Fergie lost his wife.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Condolences to
Yeah.
the Ferguson family and everybody at Manchester United.
Yeah.
And
tough.
Scotland also.
And
He's
Scotland, yeah.
Scottish. So
Yeah, I almost forgot about that. That was a news.
yeah, I think the flags at the stadium flew at half mast and all. So condolences to the Fergusons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's sad.
well, because of that, I agree. Yeah, it was Fergie time. I would have said it was Ten Hag time, but it was.
Dude,
Fergie
it's
time.
always gonna be Fergie time. That's iconic. I don't know what 10 Hag time is. I think right now it's 10 Hag time. Whatever they're going through right now, but there is that time, and that's why they call it Fergie time because United.
You know, he used to do that stuff where towards the end of the game, he
Oh,
would
yeah,
come and he would point at his wristwatch, and I'm like, that makes no sense. But I think it was just mind games.
Yeah.
He would just hype his players up with that, and all the opposition players would be like, oh yeah, they're gonna kill us now or something.
Yeah.
But I've seen a few videos where he's all, Fergie time. Yeah, but shout out to United. Actually, very happy for Scott
McTominay. Yeah, love that guy.
yeah.
I really like him. He's a good player.
Yeah. Comes on as a substitute.
Mm-hmm.
Gets 2 goals in like 4 minutes. I think 93 and 97, something like that. Shout out to him. So
there's a clip of Mourinho. I think it was after a Europa League game.
Yeah.
And somebody's like it's a post-match interview or something, and the interviewer says something about McTominay, and he just immediately gives him like a high five or something. It's like, that's good, like you got it, like because that again, it was his brain to use McTominay, and he thought McTominay played a really good game.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was the guy who gave McTominay time in the team. So when he was, I think that was also when the Pogba team was happening. So he was like, okay, if Pogba is not doing what I want him to do, I'll just play this young kid who was McTominay. Yeah, so that's fine.
He's a good player. I like him a lot.
Nice, all right. I think another good thing for United is Anthony's back.
I almost didn't recognize him because he doesn't have, his hair is like a different color now. It's like
Yeah, maybe
his
that's
natural
how.
color or something.
Maybe that's how he's trying to get his head back in the game after what has gone on. What is wrong with you,
No,
bro?
because he like get his head back in the game. It's
Bro,
just
the
like
guy has gone through a lot in the
I
last
know,
few
but it's
weeks.
just like your pun was too obvious.
Yeah, you get the check, man. All right, so that's Man United against Brentford.
Yeah.
Brentford are actually not having a very good season, though. I think they've won only one game.
Yeah. You
They've
said they're missing Ivan Tony when we
Yeah,
were
I
talking
think they
earlier.
are missing Ivan Tony.
Yeah.
Hopefully this whole he finishes his sentence, his ban. I don't how long is it?
Yeah.
Whatever. And he gets back. I think they've won only one game, Brentford.
It's only a season-long ban, right?
I don't think
Or
so. The whole
no,
season.
it's
I
up
think
in January.
he should be back in January.
Yeah.
That's if he stays and he doesn't move teams, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Brentford need to. I don't think right now they will be scared of relegation or anything.
No.
But I
No,
just feel
yeah.
like they've not had like a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's them. The big game, bro.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Well, you won. You should be ready.
That's right.
Arsenal versus Manchester City at the Emirates.
At the Emirates.
The two top teams in the league from last season.
That's right.
First v second.
Yeah.
You're the Arsenal guy.
Yes.
Tell me.
Overall good game. I know a lot of people complained that nothing happened in the game or like it
So
was
when you say good game, see, I don't know what to say about that.
good in the sense that okay,
that
obviously
you got 3 points, good for you. Yeah.
we got 3 points. That's definitely a good thing, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But I think sometimes we always go into the game expecting high scoring, lots of goals, you know. But for me personally, a lot of my early memories as I became a fan of football was watching those lockdown games and seeing how, teams would win 1-0, 2-1, and it's just like a really, really hard fought game for the points,
Okay.
I felt like I said this too earlier. I couldn't tell if City weren't up to their standard or if our standard has raised. I feel like it's a bit of both.
It's good that you're the one saying that.
Yeah, I feel like
Okay.
it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
I will say, from my point of view, not just because of the 3 points, I was also pleased to see kind of like a matured performance from Arsenal, similar to how it was against United as well.
Okay.
Because I said this last time, in the last season, Arsenal would have been like just trying to attack and attack and attack, and then we'd be exposed, at the back. And it was a similar thing in this game as well, where like compared to last season, they weren't trying to attack and attack and attack and then left exposed. Like shout out to Gabriel and Saliba. Both of them were solid. They kept Haaland at bay as best as they could. I think Haaland had, his moments, but he wasn't as present in the game as he's been in other games.
To be honest, I don't even think he had any. I think the only moment I think Haaland had was at the start of the game, his header to push the ball back for Ake.
That's true. Yeah.
To me, apart from that, I didn't see any other thing Haaland really did.
He tried to make some runs. He had duels with Saliba, I think.
Yeah. So most of the time when he got the ball, he was so far away from the box.
Yeah. And that, I think, there were things I think that worked really well for Arsenal.
I don't even think he had a shot. I'm not saying on target.
I don't think
he had an attempt on the goal. In 90 minutes of football. I don't think he had one single attempt.
There was one moment where he had a chance for a header, but it was just like beyond him, just
that doesn't
just
count
a little
as an
bit.
attempt.
Well, he had a chance to score, and he could have, but he didn't. So anyway, it wasn't a shot on goal.
Yeah. So for me, I watched the game as a neutral. I'm not a City guy. I'm not an Arsenal guy. I'm a football guy. Somebody spoke to me earlier that day and said, "Oh, what do you want? What do you think? Who would win?" And I said, to be honest, I'm not sure. I don't care who wins. I just want to be. I want to watch a good game of football. And I don't think I enjoyed it. Now, I'm not saying that that's not anybody's fault. It's just my opinion on the game.
Sure.
I watched the game as a neutral. I really want to see a game with like good talking points, good highlights, good saves, all that kind of stuff. I didn't get none of that.
Hmm.
So as at the
Well, there is one big talking point.
we will get to that.
Okay.
Well, do you mean like a goal or something?
Well, there's a goal.
The
We
goal
can
is
talk about
to a
that.
large extent. I don't still feel like there's so much to say about the goal.
See, this is the thing. This is why I don't understand.
So first off,
Okay.
up until 83, 84 minutes, Arsenal one shot on target, City one shot on target. And I'm like, is it that the two teams are trying to be very cautious? And
I
all of
think
that?
so. Honestly, I think so.
So defending, good stuff, because the less shots on target you have, the less probabilities you get a goal.
Yeah.
But offensive play, I was like, come on, nah. Especially City. I was kind of disappointed with City's offensive play.
Yeah, it was a bit surprising.
I tell you.
And that's an area where you can't blame Rodri's absence, because Rodri is a midfield player. You know, obviously he does help.
Yeah, but I think this season he has 3 goals already.
Rodri?
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, like, you got Haaland up front, you know? And so, and who else do you have? You have Phil Foden, you know?
So he started Haaland, Alvarez, Foden.
Yeah, and so I think other than some of the midfield presence that they were lacking, it was all, you know, like City. I don't think City has an excuse here. You can't give City an excuse, really.
I'm not trying to anyway.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
not planning to.
And
I don't want to give them an excuse. I just feel like I was expecting them to do a little much more.
Yeah.
A little much more. I felt like they allowed you guys, they gave you guys so much respect.
Yeah, you could argue that. I would flip that and say I think they were missing Rodri for sure in midfield. In midfield, they were missing Rodri.
No doubt.
And maybe to an extent even De Bruyne.
Yes, I said
know?
that. Yes, they are missing KDB.
And I also feel like they may have come into the game maybe slightly overconfident, because they've won quite a few. So some of the stats that we were looking at earlier, this is the first time since 2015 that Arsenal has beaten them in the league.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one stat.
That's a long time.
That's one stat.
2015 to 2023.
Yep.
Bro,
so that's a
long
big
time.
deal. The other thing is, since 2018, this is the first time City have had back-to-back defeats
in the league.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And so
that's also a very good start.
That is, yeah. So
on
that's
City's point.
From City's point of view, because that shows the level that they're at.
Oh, they've
you know what I mean?
They've won 4 of the last 5 titles and stuff like that.
Yeah. Too. And so I think for City, it just at the end of the day, it just wasn't their night, you know? So
yeah, I don't know, man, to be honest. I feel like it's going to give Arsenal a lot of confidence, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
3 points at home against the champions. Actually, not just the champions, treble winners.
The treble winners from last year. So Gary Neville said something interesting in his, because he does his kind of post-weekend reflection.
I don't watch all those stuff, but I'm happy you do, because
I like listening to...
It's good because...
Well, he's backing Arsenal to win the league, so...
Gary Neville is backing you guys, then most likely you guys won't win it then.
Well, last season he said we weren't going to win it. He said City were going to come up and they're going to win it. He said that from day one, and that's what happened. So, I don't know, man.
So what are you saying? Are you trying to...
Maybe he's a sage. Because I don't know. I don't know. But no, I listen to him because I like hearing like those immediate thoughts from different experts right after the game, and he does it like right after the big game of the weekend. So what he felt like was that City are probably experiencing that kind of post-treble hangover, and he compared that to the Manchester United side he was in that won the treble.
99.
You're right. And so he was like, I had that as well. And so he's talking about that from experience.
But City started the season with 6 straight wins.
Yeah.
They started the season with 6 straight wins in the league.
So
They
are
just
we?
lost their first game against Wolves
So
in
are
the
we?
league.
Are we saying then Rodri's loss is much bigger deal
It's
than we
so
think?
obvious. Like, no, let's be honest. It is very obvious.
Yeah.
So he gets a red card in the game against Forest.
Yep.
So he misses the game against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. They
Mhm.
lose that game.
Mm-hmm.
He misses the game against Wolves in the league. They lose that game.
Yep.
And he's missed the game against Arsenal. They lose that game. Do you need a soothsayer to tell you that?
I guess yeah.
He is important. There's
Yeah.
no doubt. One of the things that I think Rodri does well is those tactical fouls.
Yes.
Rodri is one of the best guys when it comes to stopping the opposition's attack, one way or the other.
True.
And it's those kind of fouls where it's like a simple foul, so you don't really feel like you should give him a yellow card. But that foul has just stopped the opposition's attack.
Mm.
The other thing Rodri does well is when City go attacking and they lose the ball, he's quick to get it back and send it back in.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always there for a cutback or a shot from outside the 18. The guy is just good.
He's a well-rounded midfielder.
Yes. The guy is he's a very good replacement for Fernandinho, who they used to have.
Yeah.
So it is very obvious that in 4 games they've played, they've lost 3.
So who did they start? They had
Against Arsenal?
yeah.
I think they had Bernardo, Rico Lewis.
Rico Lewis. That was the one that surprised me. Because I was like, you got Calvin Phillips sitting on the bench, man.
But Rico Lewis had a good game against, I think, Leipzig.
So this is where I think, okay, so I know like people
I
are
might be
like
wrong.
Arsenal
I might
got
be
the
wrong,
3
but I think
points,
Leipzig,
whatever.
yeah.
But this is where I was actually very happy with the boss's substitutions. Because I think compared to last time, he didn't rush to substitute, even though we hadn't scored yet. He didn't rush to substitute. He
Well,
waited
he made
for
a substitution at halftime, though.
he made
That's
that was
Trossard for
that,
Martinelli.
that was
Was that
injury.
that was injury?
That was
okay.
injury. I think
Okay.
something Trossard felt something,
Okay.
and so not to risk it, I think he put Martinelli in, which was I think excellent because
Yeah,
Martinelli raised the
he
game
raised the
for
tempo
us.
of the game. Yeah, he did. He
Um,
had a good game.
So that
Martinelli.
was good. But at the same time, I think Mikel waited for City to make their changes to see what they were thinking of doing.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
made
So
a lot of defensive
Pep made
changes.
3 substitutions at a go.
Yep.
Nunes, Doku, John Stones.
John Stones, yeah.
And a few minutes later, Arteta made his own 3 substitutions.
Yep.
I think he did Kai, Tomiyasu, and Partey,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So
But
that
that
was
makes
good.
sense. That
So
makes
that
sense.
helped us quite a bit because it gave us a bit more kind of like a solidity in midfield. You got Declan Rice and Thomas Partey playing there together, and then you got Kai Havertz up front.
Kai the boy.
And Kai Havertz, which nobody's talking about this.
Is there anything to say?
Yes, he had the assist.
I don't know why I'm laughing. But is there anything to say?
He
Sorry.
had the assist.
Bro, it's just an assist.
Yeah, but
Now, not to say an assist is not important because you need an assist to get a goal
yes,
most of the time.
he had the assist for the only goal that was scored. Which was a
that's
really
big
good
thing.
goal, by
That's
the
a
way.
big thing. Yeah, that's a big thing. For the only goal, yes.
For the only goal. And
And
so
was
he
also
had,
a deflection anyway. The
it
goal
was a
deflection.
deflection. It was a deflection, but that was the only way we could beat City, and we did.
It's good to hear you say that, actually.
Yeah. That was the only way we could beat City in a match like that. That was so.
The game was so tight.
It was tight. It was compact.
Yeah, 1 shot on target for each team up
Yeah.
until the goal. Super.
And so, yeah,
What makes you highlight Kai Havertz's assist?
I think
What's the feeling behind you saying that? If you're saying people are not talking about it, why are you not talking about it?
I think I'm talking about it because we've been mentioning his lack of contribution.
Okay.
We've been talking about, this is where he's lacking, or
But he
like
scored a
he's
goal
not.
in the last game.
He scored a goal. That
Mhm.
was a chance given to him by the rest of the team.
Okay.
They didn't have to give him that chance, but they did.
Mhm.
But I want to highlight him because this was a contribution. He came off the bench. He contributed to the team. He looked decent. He didn't look bad to me. Like he looked like he was there to help the team.
Is he never there to help the team?
He's there to help the team, but like there's moments where like he gave the ball away in the past. Like, there was some of those moments where he didn't feel like he was on it.
Yeah.
But to me, this I appreciated that he came on and he made a difference and he had an assist for the goal. Which, by the way, I loved Martinelli's strike. Like that was just, it was good. There was a deflection,
Yeah, there was a deflection. So
but
you can never say if Edison was going to save it or not because we didn't get a chance to see
he was
that.
definitely moving in that direction
Yeah.
to try and
yeah.
save or do something. But the power of the shot was also
Yeah, it was. And I feel sad for
Yeah.
Ake. It's
yeah.
you just can't do anything about
Yeah.
that. It just
And
hits you.
He had a chance moments, or like towards the opening moments of the game
Yeah,
to
at the
like
start of the game.
to
Yeah,
have a
which
chance.
Holland
Yeah.
gave him an assist. It wasn't a goal, so you can't say it's an assist.
Yeah.
Holland created the chance for him.
Yeah.
I feel sad for Ake. There have been how many own goals? Romero
Oh wow,
in the Spurs. What game was that? Arsenal.
yeah.
The Spurs Arsenal game. Romero an own goal.
Yeah.
Now Arsenal City. Ake. Well, so
Well, this wasn't an own goal though. This was given to
yeah, it was given,
Martinelli.
and that's the funny thing though,
How is that funny?
in the sense that the ball definitely changed direction.
Yes.
Now I know the argument will be Martinelli's strike was on target, but are you sure? Well, okay, let's say it was on target, but I feel like if it's a deflection that definitely changes the direction of the ball, you should give it as an own goal.
Yeah.
Just like if there's a build up to a goal and it touches someone's hand, it's given as a handball
Yeah.
or a foul, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Now, some people would go, so like in the Premier League now, they are beginning to look at those situations in a different light. So in the Brighton Liverpool game, I think the ball hit, I can't remember the exact Liverpool player, but I think it was Van Dijk.
Mm.
It hits him on his leg and then onto his arm, and the penalty wasn't given. And it was one of the things De Zerbi was freaking out for.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah. So you look at that, it's not given. In the Champions League, that will be given.
Yeah.
Then you look at some games, they go, oh, when the ball touched his hand, did the ball change direction? Did it affect the gameplay and all of that? And if it does, it's given as a handball.
Mm-hmm.
So if the ball deflects off an opposing player and it changes the direction, and you could clearly see that because Edison was going one way,
Yeah.
and then the ball hits Ake and goes the other way. Why should that not be a no-go?
I think, and this I could be wrong in saying this, but I think it's when there's like, a player that has intentionally played a part in the direction of the change of direction of the ball. In this, it wasn't. The shot was just really powerful. It just happened that it hit his face.
Yeah.
And then it went inside
Yeah, it was like
the back of the net.
like
Because
a slap in the face.
Yeah.
In the goal.
Man, you don't have to do Ake that wrong. Come on, man.
He popped. He definitely did not do that on purpose.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, it was just a good line to drop in there.
Yeah. But it was a decent goal. It was, Martinelli's strike was good, and also Martinelli just shout out like he changed the tempo of the game, like you said earlier. So I appreciate him coming on, and all the subs were, like I said earlier, the subs were on the right time.
I think they were all involved in the goal actually.
Yeah,
I think the long ball
That's
was from
true,
Partey.
That's true, yeah.
Tomiyasu wins the first header.
Yeah.
To Kai.
Yeah.
Then Kai lays it off to
From
Gab,
Martinelli. Yeah.
and Gabi just gets the shot in that goes off. Okay.
Yeah.
But enough about all of that stuff. Let's talk about Kovacic.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
So first half, he has the tackle on Odegaard. And Odegaard is dancing and rolling on the floor like he's about to die.
Dude, that was a
Some-
bad tackle.
Hey, give me time, bro. Give me time.
Yeah.
Give me time. I think it was.
Okay.
I think it was Michael Oliver who was the ref.
Yeah.
The ref gives him a yellow card.
Yes.
So VAR look at it and they decide to not tell the ref to go to the screen.
Yep.
Now, every time the ref is actually told to go to the screen, it feels like his decision is going to change.
Yeah. But it also has happened, I think it was actually with this referee, that he's had a look and he's been like, okay, I've seen it, but
I'll
I'll
stick
just
to
stay
my
with my
decision.
decision,
Eh,
which is fine.
that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. His decision is okay.
Yep.
But in that moment, did you expect that to be a red card? The
Yes.
first tackle.
Absolutely, because we've seen in the last couple of weeks
Mm-hmm.
similar decisions being given,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a red card, or it was a yellow, and then they looked at it and they gave it a red. That's not my problem, though.
Okay.
My problem is moments later.
Oh, the second challenge on
Moments
Dex.
later, Declan Rice has the ball.
Yeah.
Declan Rice passes. Kovacic comes in late. Similar challenge. Studs showing, and he catches Declan Rice.
It doesn't catch him as much as it did with Odegaard.
It was similar. It was similar.
Because first off, when he makes the tackle, he literally just goes up like, and he's expecting Declan Rice to stand up with him. So when he turns
Yeah.
back and he sees Dex on the floor, you can see he's backing at him like,
Yeah, I
get
don't.
up.
I don't
Like,
care about that. He's making a tackle with studs showing. He's so to your point last week.
Mhm.
He's putting the player in a dangerous position.
In the first one, I think he's definitely
Yes.
putting Odegaard in the
Yes.
dangerous position. In the second one, I now this is not me trying to. I just don't think the second one is as bad as the first one.
Okay.
Now, this is not me saying that he should not have gotten a yellow card for it. All I'm saying is I don't think the second tackle is as bad as the first tackle. Now, if he had gotten a red card for the first tackle, I wouldn't have said anything
Yeah.
anyway. Because first off, as I said, I'm not a City guy.
Yep.
I'm not an Arsenal guy.
Yep.
But I think you were saying something earlier about the Curtis Jones tackle.
No, that was pretty
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
So I think the Curtis Jones tackle, yes, that one, yeah, he should go. The Kovacic one, it's kind of like 6.5 dozen.
I
So
think
if
it
he had
was-
given the red, I wouldn't be here complaining. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be here saying, "Oh, that was a wrong decision." I would not.
Yeah. I actually, as we're talking about that, I think. Well, first of all, for me, he was really lucky to be on.
Oh yeah.
He was
I
very
agree.
lucky to be on.
Because
He
if
should
the
not
ref
have.
had decided to give him a red card, it won't cause as much opera as maybe the VAR goal
Yep.
or even what's his name, Diego Jota.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
people still feel like the first one wasn't even a foul.
Yeah.
So if Kovacic had been given a red card, I don't think I wouldn't be here going, "Oh, that was wrong." I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't get a red card, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But the second one, though, I feel like, hey, dude, you just got a yellow card.
Yeah.
Stop diving in like this.
Yep. Well, so I think those moments, and from there on out, I think that's where City was a little bit less on the forefront.
Mm.
Because they had he had that yellow card and he was making some of those challenges.
Yeah,
They took us because you didn't really
he was
see
walking a
Kovacic
hard
from
line.
there on out.
He was walking a really hard line there.
Yeah.
Because the same thing happened to Diego Jota.
Mm-hmm.
Minutes after the first tackle, he goes into the
Mhm.
second one and he gets a second yellow card. And I think I said it here in the last episode. I'm like, to some extent, I can't totally blame the ref because
Mm-mm.
you know you're on a yellow card.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, the first yellow card is still fresh in the referee's mind. So give him time, allow the game to flow.
Mm-hmm.
And Kovacic did the exact same thing that Diego Jota did.
Mm-hmm.
Minutes after the first one, you're jumping in for another tackle. And I'm like, if he had gotten a second yellow, I would not also complain.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd be like, yeah, you put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
You put yourself in a place where you make the ref have to make a decision.
Yeah. And that was my problem. My problem isn't just that they didn't give a straight red,
Mhm.
which I think they should have, but it should have been at least 2 yellows. That was my thing. But, that is what it is. They need to be more consistent. The refs need to be consistent with those decisions.
It is tough. Okay, so look at the Brighton-Liverpool game, the handball stuff I just said with
Yeah.
Van Dijk. I think in the Luton-Wolves game, Luton were given a penalty for nearly the same thing.
Yeah.
It goes off the defender's legs onto his hands,
Yep.
and he's punished for
Yep.
it.
So it's the inconsistency. Yeah.
Okay, so like even West Ham Newcastle, Bruno Guimaraes, his first tackle, I can't remember who the tackle was on, but he gets a yellow card.
Mm-hmm.
Minutes later, James Ward-Prowse is running past him. He claps him down, like clams the guy down.
Yeah.
The referee just gives a free kick,
Yeah.
doesn't give a yellow card.
Yeah.
And the West Ham players are going ballistic. They're like, what? So sometimes you go, I think a whole lot depends on just the referee's intuition.
Yeah.
If the referee feels like, "Oh, I don't want to do this," he won't do it.
Yeah.
And you know, the funny thing is, because it's a yellow card situation, VAR can't get involved.
Yeah.
They only get involved for red cards.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at that and I go, yeah, you are correct. There should be some level of, I don't know if consistency is the word, or the PGMOL should come together and go. If they are trying to maybe in this time go, there have been too many red cards.
Mm.
We've been having too many games finishing with 10 or 9, as the
Mhm.
Liverpool game did. Try to keep everybody on. So
Yeah.
try to keep it 11-11, except it is very obvious that you can't do anything but give a red card.
Yeah.
Now, if they want to do that, I think they should come out and let us know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they let people know, then the players know
Mm-hmm.
that they have
Yeah.
extra lives.
Yeah.
Extra
Yeah. I
lives.
see
So
what
they
you're
can
saying,
now
yeah.
do stuff.
Yeah.
You get my point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in the past few weeks, there have been red cards.
Yeah.
So Chelsea against Villa, there was a red card. Liverpool against Spurs, there were 2 red cards.
Yeah.
There was one other game I'm thinking of. There was also a red card. It just jumped out of my head. It was there before. It will come back later.
Okay.
So maybe it's possible that the PGMOL have spoken to the guys and gone, okay, let's try to keep the guys 11-11. Now, I also feel that's what the ref was trying to do in the Arsenal City game.
Yeah. Yeah. You could argue that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he had looked at it and gone, this is a big game.
Yeah.
A red card in the first half might actually change the dynamic of the game.
Yeah.
And every time the game is being spoken about, my name will be mentioned
Mm-hmm.
as the ref who gave the guy the red card that then made these other guys win or whatever.
It was like Liverpool, Newcastle.
Oh, you see, that's another Liverpool this season, 4 red cards.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that maybe they have had a few meetings and gone, let's try to keep everybody on the pitch.
Yeah.
Except they do something that you can't help it.
Yeah.
If it's debatable, choose the safer option, which is give a yellow. If it's too obvious, then that's fine. It's not your fault. I think that might just be what we're playing with here.
Could be. To me, it's just like it loses the credibility. The refs lose credibility then,
Yeah.
because it's just like, okay, if the refs can just, based on how their day is going, make the decision, basically.
Based on how their day is going.
It's just like, okay, in the last few weeks, we've seen those kind of decisions given. And then this last weekend with Arsenal City, that decision wasn't given that way, and that's why people are talking about it.
And in West Ham Newcastle, it wasn't given.
It was, yeah.
So those are 2 games on the same day.
Yeah.
Where those 2 players could have or should have gotten a red card, but they didn't get it.
Yeah.
Now, funny enough, in the Luton Spurs game, early kickoff on Saturday, Bissouma gets 2 yellow cards.
Yeah.
And the second yellow card is for diving.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah. And it wasn't even diving like in the penalty box.
Yeah.
He was making a run towards the box. I think a few Luton players were trying to get the ball off him. Maybe he just saw the folks and he's like, oh. And then he was given a yellow card.
Yeah.
His second yellow card was for diving. So I look at that and I go, if he could get a second yellow for that, why could Guimaraes not get a second yellow card for that tackle?
Yeah.
Or as you say, Kovacic couldn't get a second yellow card for the tackle on Dex.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think
they need to be consistent.
Well, I think Howard Webb is their boss. Well, speaking about the PGMOL, we remember the goal that never was. The Liverpool goal.
Yeah.
That never was. And I think Liverpool requested for
the audio to be released.
Which
yeah.
they did release.
They did release it.
Did you listen to it?
That was something, man. That audio was something. Okay, let's start with this. What on earth were they saying? The first few bits of that audio, whatever they're saying, makes it makes no sense.
Maybe there's some match official lingua that they have.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Some lingo was just, hey, that's, yeah.
It made no sense. So So that was one of the things I think they give feedback on. Like they need to work on that. They need to work on clarity on how they communicate
Okay.
because it made no sense whatever it was that they
To
were
somebody
saying.
who is not in that circle.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're not a match official, you most likely won't understand
Well,
what they're saying.
take away that
Some
even
part of
like
it at least.
some whatever broadcast or like some kind of language that they were trying to use,
Yeah.
it was clear that it made no sense. It wasn't working. So they need to work on that. That's one thing. But then the other thing was it was odd to me, at least,
Mm-hmm.
that he had an opportunity. The VRF had an opportunity to go back and say, "Hey, I made a mistake. Quickly look at it. This may be a goal."
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it
the-
was ago, not maybe.
it, it,
This is ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He didn't do that. He didn't take that, and he just kept saying, "I can't do
Yeah,
anything."
so it felt like the other VAR guys, so maybe like the operator two, three, however they do all that, was trying to tell the main VAR guy.
Oh, he told him. He said,
Yeah,
"Hey, are you happy with this
yeah,
decision?
this is a goal.
The goal hasn't been
Yeah,
given. This
and he
is a
kept
goal."
saying, "Oh, I can't do anything about that. I can't do anything about that." I'm like, what? You want to take a look at this? We think it was a goal.
Yeah.
Now, the question actually is the VAR guy thought the goal was given.
At first,
Was he not watching the game? So that means he was not attentive.
yeah, he was either not attentive or um they're definitely like because they're in that little VAR room or
Stockley
box or
Park, whatever they
whatever.
call that place. Yeah.
So because they're there and there's a lot happening in that moment, I can get that like they're not hearing stuff the same way they're hearing on the pitch and like all that kind of
But they're
stuff.
actually watching the game.
Well, when you say actually watching the game behind the scenes in that room, it's not the same way they're watching as like you and I are watching on the TV because they've got different audio feeds going on. They've got the guys in the room talking to each other, and it's very fast paced during the game. So
Okay.
they're looking at probably every decision, right? And so
Every
with
decision they have to look at.
every decision,
Because
no,
they
no,
don't
no,
they don't have to look at yellow cards and stuff like that. Because
sure,
that's none
but
of their
like they're
issues.
looking at okay, there's this decision that happened. We've paused the game right now. Ref's looking at this. He's looking at this decision. Do we need to interfere? No. So there's like a lot of stuff going on, right? My thing is what it comes down to is he had the chance to act and step in and say, "Hey, this is a goal. This is a clear goal.
Mm.
You need to take a look at this and give it." You know,
Yeah, true though.
and he didn't do that. And
Yeah, he
that
didn't.
basically that was his failure to like intervene and do the job that they have to do.
So for somebody like that who made such an error,
Yeah.
what does he get? 1 week, 2 week suspension?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Should
I
you not?
don't.
Nah, I'm not nothing against the guy, but when a match official knows that when he does something wrong, all he gets is a week or 2 week suspension,
Yeah.
do you think he's scared of that?
No.
So a player says something about the ref. I think Van Dijk after the Newcastle game or so must have said something, and he got fined for it.
Yep.
Can the referees actually be fined?
I think they should be.
Can like their match bonus? I don't know how they're paid. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Can you say, okay, for the next 1 month, we're fining you? I don't know how much they pay them. Maybe £5,000. I have no idea.
They
Because
should
the
be.
players they get fined like 25. Some of them as much as £80,000.
Yeah.
So if you cannot do something wrong towards an official
Yeah.
and not get fined for it, why should we not consider when a match official does something wrong to the match that he's supposed to officiate?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it is something that it's when something is just human error, it's just human error in the sense that there's no VAR and the ref didn't see it. That's a different thing. But in a situation like this where you are giving out those screens and the mics, you guys are mic'd up, and you have access to this guy. You can speak to him during the game and all,
Yep.
and you don't do any of that. Should you at least not be fined to some level?
Yeah, you should be absolutely. And I don't know, maybe that'll develop still.
Mm.
It should have already by now, but I just think of Arsene Wenger's quote that here referees are protected like animals at the zoo. So I think a lot of people know how strongly he felt about referees. I think it was like the Euros or something. Um, Back when he was still manager, and he was like, there's there were Italian and English referees, and he was like, not one, or no, I think it was the World Cup, and he was like, not one English referee is gonna be there, because I think most people believe that English referees just suck.
Well, I don't know. I
And
think
so I don't know.
what's his name? I think it was Michael Oliver who did the Europa League final. Was it
Oh, he
Europa
did?
League?
Okay.
The Roma Sevilla game that Mourinho was really not happy and waited for him in the car park and all of that. I think that was Michael Oliver.
Oh, yeah.
And even Roma fans were at the airport showing their dislike of the way he officiated the game. Now, this is not me saying Michael Oliver is not a good ref. I don't know him.
Yeah.
The games I've seen, it is what it is. But do you think situations like this actually, do they actually play a part in the globe, as you said? So in the FIFA World Cup, is that affecting the way English referees are looked at?
Oh, English referees already have a bad reputation. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they already have a bad reputation. Well, okay, maybe not bad reputation, but there, if there's a tier, list of like which are the best referees or where do we get the referees from, I'm pretty sure English referees are pretty low. Like,
compared to the whole saying of the English Premier League being the best league in the world.
yes, isn't that surprising?
So you have the best league in the world, but you don't have the best referees in the world.
That's true. Yeah, that's what
Oh, wow.
people say.
Oh,
It's kind of like a weird thing. Maybe we should do more digging into that and come back and report on that, because
yeah.
that is a funny thing
Mm.
that when you put it together,
Mm.
like being the best league in the world
And not the best referees
and
in
not
the world.
having the best referees in the world. That's why Arsene Wenger said all those things that he
Yeah.
said. There's another one where he says, "When I die, I'm gonna ask God where the referees are before I choose between heaven and hell."
Oh.
So that's how you know how much the guy didn't like the
He
referees.
didn't like the English
No, no,
refs.
no.
Oh man, that's sad. That's
It's
sad.
yeah. Anyway,
But, all right, we'll look through our contacts, see who we can get, who knows a little more about referees than we do.
yeah.
Hopefully, we can get somebody on the show who can speak into that a little
Yeah.
more than we can.
So if you're somebody who knows more about refs, call us.
You might just be a ref yourself,
Yeah.
or you can give us access to Howard Webb or
Yeah.
maybe Colina, the
Who's that?
Italian guy, the Italian ref
Okay.
with Bob.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that guy's legendary, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, look
yeah,
at
yeah.
Colina, legendary.
Yeah.
But thank God though. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Right?
Oh, but I do want to say this though.
Mm.
We talked about this offline. This was more than just 3 points for Arsenal. Going
Oh,
back
okay.
to the Arsenal City game, because like we mentioned the 2015 and 2018 stats.
Yeah, that's a
of
long time.
That,
to not win
so
the
that's
league.
like that's kind of like the tide shifting, I guess, in a way, at least from Arsenal's point of
Bro,
view.
it's your first win in like 8 years.
Yeah,
What
but
tide is shifting?
I think it gives Arsenal that confidence, because these
Oh,
were
yeah,
the
true,
games.
true,
These were
true.
these were kind of the games that defined Arsenal's sort of downfall last season.
Yeah, you guys
It
lost
was-
home and away to
it
City
was-
last season. Yeah.
Yep. And I feel like now we're seeing Arsenal mature in their way of playing a little bit.
Okay.
Like they're figuring out, okay, when do they just kind of sit back a little bit, defend a little bit? When do they actually try to create the chances
Mhm.
and try to score the goals?
Mhm.
Last season it felt like, okay, they're all young, they're all just going forward, they're all trying to get, goals,
Yeah.
and then the center backs were just kind of left to like figure it out themselves, which they've also matured. Saliba and Gabriel have matured a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, how do we sit back? How do we defend?
Mm.
how do we, just kind of try to get back possession, play a little
Mm,
bit of football
mm,
before we try to, catch them and try to score goals. But also, I want to say a player that nobody was probably watching was Martin Odegaard. He didn't do anything special in the game. He didn't create any major chances.
mhm,
However, the guy was running around like a madman. Like he was just trying to press as much as he could. He was urging everybody else to
mm,
keep pressing.
mm.
I know after the game, he was going around the
Yeah, I think he did a
stadium
lap.
just
He did a lap, applauding the
thanking the
fans.
fans.
Yeah,
And so it's players like that that help the club move forward.
yeah. I think he's getting
You
into
know,
his captain moment.
absolutely.
So the band, I still think many people wear the band just wear it for the sake of wearing it.
Yeah, no, not him.
But I think being a captain of a football team is some level of responsibility,
Absolutely.
and you have to show that you're the captain not just by wearing it.
Yeah,
You have to show it on the training pitch. You have to show it in the dressing room. You have to also show it out on the pitch in front of the
yeah,
fans. You have to actually show it to the fans by doing what you said he did, which is uh, do the lap around the stadium and
yeah,
all of that. I I don't think he had a bad game. I think it was okay. It was a good game for him.
yeah.
But the things you have said, I think are good things that he should continue doing.
Absolutely. No.
Keep running, because as a footballer, when you stop running, it's not good.
Well, especially against a team like City.
Yeah, you have to keep
If,
running a
like
lot.
I said, like I think last weekend, if they had switched off
Mm.
against City like they did against Spurs, we
Yeah,
could have either left it on a draw or lost this game.
yeah, yeah.
And that's I think where like I, as an Arsenal fan, I
Mm.
was happy to see that the team didn't switch off. They
That's
stayed
all right.
on. They tried to stay on.
That's all right.
They kept pressing and trying to
Yeah,
keep
yes.
pressing City.
That
So
that they did.
yeah.
That they did. They kept. I think also the fans still believe that something could happen.
Absolutely.
So
Well, you have to.
So the energy from the fans never went down, even towards the
Yeah.
end of the game.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. In Arteta's time, there's been a lot of late goals.
Well, the boss himself knows how to win 1-0 against City.
Nah, he doesn't, bro.
Yes, he does.
doesn't. Nah,
Yes, he does.
He should have done it
He's-
since he came.
Well,
It's taken him
no,
four
no, no, no,
seasons
no.
to do
I'm,
it.
I'm
4
talking about
seasons.
him as a player.
Okay,
I'm
as a
talking
player.
about him
Okay,
as a player.
as a
I still remember that goal he scored against City outside the box.
Makes sense.
So,
Makes sense.
like,
Good stuff.
The
Good
boss
stuff.
knows.
Well, speaking about one of your players, you've spoken about Odegaard.
Yeah.
Can I please speak about David, your goalkeeper?
Oh yes. Please speak about him.
His first half was funny though.
It was very funny.
He was making passes, which I'm like, is this guy okay?
Yeah, that's when when I hear you and other people say, "Oh, like the game was flat." How was it flat when you had this guy providing you all the moments of anxiety throughout the game?
For you, not for me.
I'm watching
was
it going.
He was providing anxiety for you, not for me. What's my issue?
If I had hair, I would have pulled it out. Cause man, I'm watching this guy. I'm like, what? But it's funny. Mikel after the game was saying like, yeah, like it's okay, let him do it. I'm like, no, don't let him do it. Like,
So look at the one with Alvarez,
yeah,
where he's about to clear the ball, and Alvarez closes him down
Oh my
and gets a
goodness.
block. That was just side netting.
yeah,
A few centimeters forward, and that would be a goal.
absolutely.
But you look at that, then I think in the first half, like 50% of his passes were not
Mm-mm.
going to the right persons, or going to
No.
the right persons in high pressure areas
Yep.
and all of that. So while you give a good shout out to Martin, I think in this time, I hope Ramsdale can actually push for the shirt.
He should. Yeah,
hope he can.
absolutely.
I'm not saying that I know what Arteta is going to do in the next game, but I feel like with these signs, because even in the game against Lens in the
Yeah,
Champions
he had
League,
some mistakes. Yeah.
I think it was his pass that actually led to the goal.
Yep.
So if Ramsdale can see this, I think it should encourage him to go, I could actually get the shirt back.
So you raise an interesting point because the problem Arsenal have right now is that they have two keepers of the similar level
Okay.
and the similar playing style
Mm-hmm.
and caliber. So how do you solve this problem? I have no idea. I have no idea how
Neither
you
do
solve
I.
this problem.
I don't.
A lot of people believe in like about a few months we'll see one of them leave. and it'll
It
probably be
depends.
Ramsdale.
It depends.
That's
Yeah.
what people think. I don't think that, but that's what people are saying. And so this is a very weird situation, a unique situation that Arsenal is in, where like you have similar keepers.
Yeah.
Now the problem is how often do you play either one? That's the thing that we're looking at.
Well, I think if you guys go far in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, then I think Ramsdale will get some games.
Yeah,
If you guys don't, then there'll be a bigger problem.
yeah,
So if by Christmas you're out of both cup competitions,
yeah,
then it's a bigger headache for Arteta. But if you guys are still in those competitions, then he knows, okay, I might not play in the league and in the UCL, but you can know for certain
yeah.
that you are my first pick for the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm.
But that can only happen if you are in those tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but let's see how it goes. I think it's a good headache for him to have.
Yeah,
It's a good headache for him to have because if anything happens to one of them, you have a solid backup goalkeeper. Solid. You wouldn't need to have Giroud.
yeah.
You would-
Hey, I'd take Giroud with what he did. I'd take him. You know.
You would need to have Giroud be
Yeah,
your
man.
goalkeeper and all
Hey,
of
we
that.
take him. I probably maybe not every fan believes this or thinks this, but I'd take him back in a heartbeat, man. That guy was so fun to have,
That's a good
and
player.
I love his link up play. I always
Oh,
loved his link up
One
play.
of the best I have seen.
You know,
Link
he
up
he
play.
did at Chelsea as
With
well.
Hazard,
You know,
it was beautiful to
yeah,
see.
he was good.
Beautiful to see. One
so
of the best.
That's why I think Arsene Wenger signed him because
Mhm.
he played for Montpellier.
Mhm.
Which, by the way, there's a funny situation at Montpellier. I don't think you know this.
Oh, I saw it.
Did you see that the firecracker?
Yeah, they threw one of the flares in and it exploded
it
just
exploded.
beside the goalkeeper.
Yeah, the match was abandoned, I think.
But that was towards the end of the game, though.
It was towards the end.
But even with that, stuff like that should not be happening.
That's stupid.
Because
That's crazy.
You are endangering the player.
Yeah.
Because the stuff actually exploded just beside the game.
Yeah.
And he actually fell down.
They took him off on a
on
stretcher.
the stretcher. It's sad. It's really sad. It's really, really, really sad.
I don't know how people end up with this kind of stuff. Like how they end up doing this kind
I
of
don't know.
stuff.
I think some weeks ago in the Eredivisie, Ajax, I think it was Feyenoord, the Ajax fans just lit so many flares. I think the game had to be abandoned also. So I really don't know. I know football is a game for passion and love and enthusiasm, and it takes you.
Yeah.
But I think we should also still be conscious of other people.
Absolutely.
I think we should still be conscious of other people. I hope the goalie is well also. I hope he recovers from... I think also the shock of that.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know. Something just explodes like literally behind you.
Yeah.
So I really hope he's okay and
he
recovers whatever is wrong with him. But I also hope that the Ligue 1 can actually find a way to
clamp down on the stuff. Yeah,
they can find a way
absolutely.
to do it. We need the fans in the stadium. Sure.
Absolutely.
But we need to find a way to find that balance so that
Fans-
everybody's safe.
Fans just need to be responsible. Fans can't be
Yeah.
you know throwing flares like that
You
and
can't
like
come to the stadium and
endangering
do
other
do
people.
whatever you like.
Yeah, no.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't
No.
do that. You shouldn't do that. It's
Yeah.
unfair.
Anyway, when I said Montpellier, it made me think of that moment because I
Yeah,
remember seeing it.
sure.
But anyway, that's why I think Arsene Wenger signed him because he was actually a player that a lot of people had kind of written off. Like,
I think he's one of the underrated players we have in the world.
absolutely,
He's
But-
won the World Cup.
he's won the
He's won the
that's
UCL.
thing. Yeah,
He's won the Europa League. So he's won the. I think he's won the Premier League.
I think so. Yeah,
I think he has under Conte.
yeah.
Was that his first season or his second season? I need to think.
I can't remember.
But I think I need to think clearly, but because I know Conte's second season when he won the FA Cup, he was there. I don't know if he was there in the first season. I think the first season was Diego Costa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But at least for someone to win the World Cup, the
Yeah.
UCL and the Europa League,
FA Cup with Arsenal.
he's won a lot of FA
Yeah.
Cups. Even with Chelsea and with Arsenal. So he's a good player. no
He's a
doubt.
good player,
He's a
yeah,
really
and
good player.
a team player, and
He's actually the starting striker for AC Milan.
that's amazing to me.
And he's
That's
34,
actually really cool.
35, I don't know. He's their starting striker.
That's cool, man. That's
Actually,
good for him.
Origi came and left on loan to Forest.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
He's reliable. He's reliable.
No, it's a good player.
And even if he doesn't have a good game, even if he doesn't score,
Mm.
he's working with the team to make stuff happen. That's what I appreciated about him. I think Arsenal has changed a little bit since he left, and how the forwards are now and how they play. It's a little bit different,
Yeah, yeah,
but
sure.
it was a joy to watch him link up. He
It
had those
was.
crazy passes and twists and
I remember
turns.
the scorpion kick
Oh yeah,
goal.
that was iconic. He won an award for that, right? He
I'm
won
not
the.
sure.
I
Maybe
think
he
he won
did.
the Puskas
I
award.
don't know. Maybe he did. But
So
speaking about Arsenal, I think while we were talking offline sometime, you was trying to say something about Arsenal and City being like the big game in the Premier League
one
now.
of the one of the big
Are
games.
you sure?
Yes.
Because he sounded like you were trying to make
No,
it
no,
feel
no.
like the big game.
I don't think we've. I don't think. I think I was just thinking about the time where like it was only Manchester City and Liverpool
I
in the
still think
last.
that's the big
That
game.
is one of the big games,
Or
but
one of the big games.
that
Yeah,
is
I
one of the
still
big.
think that's one
But
of them.
I felt like at that point that was the big game, and there was no other team was like close to it. Chelsea weren't close to it. United weren't close to it.
Mhm.
Like those were the only two.
So let's say it this way. That was one of the big games, but that was the game that had the top two teams play
Yes.
each other.
Yeah.
Now, not just the top two teams, I also think the top two managers.
True.
I think that's one of the things why when somebody comes to me and tells me, "Oh, Arsenal City is the top," I'll be like, "Yeah, I feel you, but I don't think Arteta is in that stratosphere with Pep, with Klopp, with Ancelotti. I don't think Arteta is there yet. I'm not saying Arteta is not a good manager.
Yeah.
He is a good manager. He's shown it at Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he has done it long enough to be considered a great manager.
Oh no, he definitely has time to prove all of that.
Yeah, which he still
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
He's a young manager. He
Yeah,
has
yeah.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Nagelsmann, Julian Nagelsmann, the
yeah.
new former Bayern, now
Okay.
Germany coach.
Okay.
Nagelsmann still has a lot of time to show the world. And is he a good manager? Yes, I think Nagelsmann is a good manager.
Mm.
Some like kind of like Xavi also. These guys still have a lot of time to
Yeah,
prove.
yeah. I'm saying more
So yeah, when I go City Liverpool, I still stay there. I say first off because there's two really good teams, but also because the managers are like
sure, yeah, you could say
they
that.
always go against each other all the time.
And they have both of them have the amount of like a similar amount of experience under the
And
belt
the trophies to show for
and the
it.
trophies to show for it. So that's I'm just talking about when we talked about that big game or those big games. At one point, I felt like it was only City and Liverpool. There was no other team in that conversation. And now I feel like that's changed. Now, I would even say now it's like, okay, we had Arsenal City, we have City Liverpool. I could even throw Newcastle in that mix.
Not
'Cause
not at the level of City Liverpool. I think Newcastle is a big game, definitely.
I think that's changed. I think this season it's not that way anymore.
So I still think they are blockbuster games.
Yes.
So some of those games are maybe just because of the names of the club. So like when Chelsea Manchester United play.
Yeah, but that's not the same this season. I wouldn't say it.
Yeah, this is in the two teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so you see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
It's and I'm not saying like only those two teams or it has to be just two teams that are like the two teams to look at.
Yeah.
I just think a few years ago City and Liverpool were it and everybody else was behind them. You had nobody else in that mix.
Yes.
And now I think it's a little bit different.
Yes,
You have a
yes.
few more teams in that mix.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's Arsenal City and that's it. I'm saying like there's a few other teams in that
with
mix.
the look of what it is now, then you have to mention Spurs.
Yeah,
You have to mention
Well,
Spurs because they're top of the table. I know you're
sure.
an Arsenal guy, but you have to.
sure.
You have to mention
can,
Spurs.
You can give them their flowers. Let's give them their flowers for now because those flowers are gonna go away after a few weeks.
Well, if you think theirs is gonna go away, why don't you think yours is gonna go away?
I think we'll stay.
I think you guys are the only two teams that are yet to lose.
Yeah.
Spurs and Arsenal. Okay. I see.
Let's see.
But
Let's
it's
see.
all right.
I guess
think
it's
we've
a
said
game
so
of
much.
that. It's a game of who loses first at this point now.
Oh yeah.
I think
yeah.
both of us are gonna
Yeah.
lose games. So
Yeah,
let's see.
I believe so. I believe so. Speaking about that, I think we've said a lot today.
Yeah.
But speaking about, you believe or you think that you guys are going to lose games. Your next game is in Stamford Bridge, bro.
Yes.
Chelsea, Arsenal.
Yes.
Whew. Before we talk about that, there's the international break. So we are also taking a break.
Yes.
So we'll not have an episode come out next week.
Yep.
We'll take the international break.
That's right.
And then we'll be back when the club season or the club games kick off.
Yes.
And we'll try to see how we both feel.
Yeah. Last week it was how I was gonna feel.
Yeah, how
you
were gonna feel, and your team won. So this time it's gonna be how we both feel because our teams are playing against each other.
Yeah.
Ah man, Chelsea, please help me here.
Chelsea just beat bottom of the league. Arsenal just beat
Top
champions from last season. It's it'll be a good game actually because you guys are in a good
Chelsea
moment.
just beat the champions of the championship.
Okay, sure. You can have that. Sure.
So we both beat champions.
Man, whatever helps you guys sleep at night. But no, you guys are in a good moment. That's why that makes it kind of like a spicy game because you guys are in a good moment. You guys have new players.
I hope so.
Fresh players. So
a lot of them are still injured though. So let's see.
Oh really?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Oh.
So James is not in the mass squad.
Yeah.
Chilwell's not in
He
the
got
mass squad.
fined. I saw Reece James
Yeah,
for like again
he was
the
saying
thing
stuff.
that we were talking
Yeah,
about
saying
referees.
stuff.
Yeah. He got
What it
fined.
is what it
Anyway.
is. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, man.
Come on, Chelsea.
Arsenal.
Keep the blue flag flying high, bro.
Let's see.
But it's all right, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
This is episode 10.
Yeah.
We've done 10 episodes.
Yeah, man.
And it feels like we started last week.
It really does. It really does. It really does.
But this is number 10. This is number.
Yeah, man.
Maybe you should wear number 10 jersey next time.
I don't have any jerseys that have numbers on them, sadly.
So thank you so much for everybody, your love, your support, kind words, and all of that. Some people even sending us topics to discuss and comments and all of that. Thank you to those who have, with everything, shown that they support us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the first 10. We hope that we can do many more 10s.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Many more 10s together.
Yeah.
But thank you from myself and Andrew.
Yeah.
See ya.